This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, start at verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. First and foremost, I want to say Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well, who taught me the truth. Salutations to you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutations to my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. So, I want to, in this lesson, highlight the danger, some of the dangers that are coming, in the days, Jacob's trouble, which is on the horizon. I'll start off with that one. It says Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, right? Jacob, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, Yasharallah, the princes of the power, right? This is a time of trouble for the nation of Israel, right? It continues on and says, but he, the elect of the nation of Israel, shall be saved out of it, But we are commanded to come out and give warning, from Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi for these things that are coming upon the world, man. And this is, I have a few examples, the things that are coming, and these are all come from, I have it on this page right here. Patrick Humphrey, does a lot of, I guess he's like a prepper type of guy, but he brings out a lot of good information. The name of this video right here is California tells residents do not call 911, emergency services breakdown, So this is where I, got a lot of my articles from to do this lesson, So this is from Firehouse. It reads, California County urges residents to call 911 only for true emergencies. An ambulance shortage sometimes leaves Contra Costa County crews unable to handle life-threatening calls, So this was published yesterday, December 29, 2022. Year the Lord's turn up, man. So I just wanted to show a few articles, showing the times that we're coming into and that we're already in, and that they're going to continue to escalate, man. And the days are evil that we're going into, man. So we have to fully, trust in our power, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, that will be covered in these troubling times that are on the horizon, man. So let me read a little bit of this article, and I got a few more articles I'm gonna read a little bit of. I don't want to make this too long, but I want to stress the point, of the times that we're coming into, man. And there's no time to be, lollygagging, thinking shit sweet. You know what I'm saying? This is a time of danger that we're coming into, man. So we have to be deadly serious about this truth, man. I'm talking about, you brothers and sisters, mainly you brothers that are in this truth, man. We got to continue to do as much as we can for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man, and push this word as much as we can for the prophets out there, man, and the teachers, and continue to pray and fast if you have to, and continue to beg the Lord to increase your faith, and have mercy on us in these troubling times that are coming, man, because we're definitely going to need it, man, So this is, so it reads, as the ambulance shortage continues across the country, a California county is urging residents not to call 911 unless it's a true emergency. There are a number of different circumstances in our jurisdiction that we have down to 0 ambulances available. So imagine, you're having and I used to work in EMS, so you can't, yeah, there's true emergencies, like as they kind of said in the video, people do call, a lot of people do call for foolishness, like, they stub their toe or they get a paper cut, they'll call 911 and tie up a whole ambulance, shit like that. But, you can't really tell somebody, especially nowadays with the juice going around, when a young person, they would, when I was, in EMS, if somebody was 30, in their 20s, early 30s, and they were complaining of chest pain, we were pretty much taught that most of the time it was more anxiety or something. It really wasn't a heart attack going on. But now things are different. A lot of people have taken that juice and they have all these different cardiac issues, issues with their heart, so you really can't say to somebody that it's life-threatening or not until they were actually to be examined. You know what I'm saying? So this is a lot of things are happening with these ambulances being short, because these people have been dropping dead crazy lately, and then they're not going to have anybody to come and render aid to them, so they're just going to perish. So the days that we're coming into are indeed evil, man. So it says there are a number of different circumstances in our jurisdiction that we have down to 0 ambulances available to be able to respond out those life-saving incidents. Contra Costa County Fire Captain Steve Aubert told ABC7 the county only has 30 ambulances to respond to emergencies, and that's not enough. Right. So imagine if there's a major event or a major fire in one section of the city, and then there's I don't know, let's just say a group home, or something, or a hospital or something. Not a hospital, just like a complex, I'll say it that way, that has a lot of older people in it, like a nursing home. And 2, 3, 4 people and older people need ambulances at the same time. So if they have, multiple injuries over at this fire, that's going to tie up, depending on how many people need ambulances. Let's say there's 10 people that get burned. That's 10 ambulances right there, maybe more. 10, 15, that's already cuts it in half. Then you got the regular calls, the normal, people that, have strokes and diabetic episodes and, things like that. So let's say 10 for the fire, 10 for the regular things, and then you got another 5 to 10 for this particular nursing home that's going through something. And you still got the rest of the city. People don't, there's not only just 30 calls during the day, there's hundreds of calls during the day for 911 all the time. What happens if something happens and there's a police shootout? A couple police get hit. A couple civilians get hit. The the assailant gets hit, or 2 assailants. So it's 30. It's not hard to see that the system, ambulance, the emergency system is easily able to break down, man. And it says our ambulance services have been impacted by the demic, by the recent events that are going on, but also a large use of ambulance services just for normal calls, going to the hospitals, right? Hospitals are overwhelmed right now with flu and other ill patients. So you got all these things happening at the same time, and you only got 30 ambulances. So all it would take is, like I said, one a major event, or something happening where they got to dedicate a certain amount of ambulances, and then that means they could be possibly cut in half off rip, and they still have to deal with the regular calls. So these are the times that we're coming into, man. You know, and it's only going to get worse. So let's get this one. This is from Georgia EMS. It's an EMS director's worst nightmare. So this first one was, California. So now we're in Georgia on the East Coast, right? Georgia EMS directors sound alarm on shortages. It says across the state, the alarms are blaring. Actually, is this the same one? Is this it? Oh, it's lucky. Okay, so this is actually looks like it ties in. This is a different one though, but that's a different story. So this one says Loring County Emergency Medical Services Director Terry Cobb says it's an emergency director's living nightmare with 12 ambulances in the fleet operating 24 hours and 5 frontline ambulances with over 200,000 miles. Cobb says he worries about the wear and tear of using them so often. So not only do they not have a lot of ambulances over here in Georgia, but 5 of them, the frontline ambulances, have over 200,000 miles. So that means, what happens if you're taking a shooting victim and the engine just stalls out on you? Now you have to continue to try to work that patient, help that patient out, and now that another one of these ambulances have to come and pick that patient up to continue to ride them to the hospital, man. You know, and my whole point of bringing all this out is to paint a picture, right? As the scriptures say, to make it plain upon tables, man. You know, write the vision. You know, paint a picture of what is to come, man, and why it is imperative, to come back onto Bahasham Yahawashi before the evil days come, man. You know, let's get another one. Now this is back in Texas. Texas legislator steps in to help with EMS shortage. There's always been some type of shortage, but not one that we've seen this dramatic. San Antonio, emergency medical services are facing staffing shortages across the country and in South Texas. So not only do you have ambulance itself, not enough of them, now there's shortage of staffing as well, right? Problems existing before the demic were only amplified by CV. After 6 years of a combat medic for the Army, Angie Kanai decided to take her medical knowledge to the streets as an EMT for Acadian ambulance. You're there for that person in their worst moment, and you got to do your best you can for them, Kanai said. Last year, Acadian launched an accelerated program to get more EMTs and paramedics into the workforce. That's how Kanai got here. Says Christine, a recruiter for Acadian, says there's still a shortage, not just at Acadian, but nationally. EMS has taken such a hit. The last thing we want is for someone to call 911 and no one be able to show up. What it said, right? Right now, it says they have 14 paramedic openings and 14, which keeps 14 of the advanced life support trucks out of service, man. So 14 of them trucks can't even go out, man. This is Daniel 12:1. And at that time of Jacob's trouble, it's going to be so bad. Shall Michael, the archangel, right, stand up, the great prince withstandeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Even to that same time, and at that time, thy people shall be delivered, right? The elect of the nation of Israel, everyone that shall be found written in the book, right? In the book of life. So these are the times that we're coming into, man. Let's see. Now this is in what's going on? Ohio. EMT shortage leads ambulance companies scrambling for solutions. let's see. Let me start to, where is it at? Where is it at? So let's get this real quick. So, this is prophecies about Babylon, right? Isaiah 13:1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. And this word has absolutely gone into the gates of the nobles. That's why these devils are going to come down with great wrath, because they know that they have but a short time. These are the times that we're entering into, man. You know? And I just wanted to get real quick. Where is it? Let's get right to the point. Isaiah 13:15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, right? So there's going to be a lot of death, a lot of bloodshed going on in the streets, man. And there's not going to be anyone to help stop the bleeding, man. That's the different articles that we're watching already, and it's only going to get worse, you know? Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined onto them shall fall by the sword. The modern day sword is the gun, man. It could be a literal sword. You know, I just watched a video a little while ago on World Star. I believe it was in the Philippines, of some man basically trying to hack a woman to death in the street, and the other people working through started throwing chairs and everything to get him off. But what happens if there was no people to even do that? She would have just got hacked to pieces, man. You know? This is Isaiah 13:16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, man. This is the times that we're coming into, you know? Dashed to pieces before their eyes. Why? Because there's not going to be any emergency medical services. And you already seen a snippet of that. What happened in Buffalo, New York? That was from a storm. You know, they just physically couldn't get there. But what happens when there's maybe a storm or something, but there's just literally nobody there because the police are quitting in droves as well? You know, what happens when the whole 911 system, you know, like one of the brothers said, the woman's favorite 3 numbers, you know, they always want to start some shit and then run to Daddy Esau to help them. But what happens when that whole system collapses, man? There ain't going to be a lot of running their mouths in that time, that's for damn sure. There ain't going to be nobody to fucking help them, right? It says their houses shall be spoiled, right? As it says in 2nd Ezra. Second Ezra 15:19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, right? And spoil their goods. Why? Because of the lack of bread and great tribulation, right? Okay, 18 verse. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And these are the times that we're coming into. Isaiah 13:16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled because of the lack of bread and great tribulation, and their wives ravished, man. So if these are the times that you're coming into, that we're all coming into, and there's not going to be anybody to come and save the day, as that song goes, you know, who can I run to? Who you gonna run to, man? You know? Because if you don't come back onto your power, Bahasham, Yahawashi, he said he's going to laugh at your calamity. He's gonna mock when your fear cometh, man. You know? And it's gonna be terrible, as the scriptures say, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord we persuade men. This is why we constantly come out and give warning unto our people, man. You know? To come back onto your power, you know, before the evil days come, man. So let me see, where's I got that. Let's get this real quick. Isaiah 62:6, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem. Right? This is what we do. We watch, you know, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, keep not silence. So we have to give the warning. You know, we love our people, so we try to give, you know, the warning to the best of our ability through the spirit and power of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. You know, that the ones, matter of fact, this is the mission. First Timothy. Is Timothy? Yep, First Timothy 4:16. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself, right, and them that hear thee. Right? So this is the goal, man. You know? We're looking for salvation ourselves. You know, brothers that are out there, you know, preaching, sighing and crying, you know, for all abominations that be done in the midst there. We're hoping for that Yahawah, you know, that mark for exemption from judgment. And for our brothers and sisters that hear us, man. That's what we're doing. We're giving warning, you know, from Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi of the evil that is coming, man. Let's see. This is evil, man. So this is from the this was oh, in Dakota. Okay. So this is the evil that's coming, man, and it's already here. It's just going to continue to escalate. So this is NBC News, Nebraska, and it says 12-year-old boy dies from flu after EMS unable to reach him in blizzard. Family says, man. You know. It says Sioux, and this is from yesterday, December 29th. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. A 12-year-old boy in South Dakota died from the flu after emergency responders were unable to get to him during a blizzard, his family said. Honor Alves, I forgot to pronounce that, was diagnosed with the flu and sent home the day before his death. His grandmother, Rose, 40-year, said Honor's condition worsened from there. We tried for hours to reach the emergency preparedness personnel on the Rosebud Sioux Indian Reservation to get help for Honor, she told KS. So yeah, so this is a Northern Kingdom, Jake, man. A snowplow reportedly was eventually able to make a path for an ambulance, and Honor was taken to the Indian Health Service, a government hospital 3 miles away, where he died, man. You know? So these are, you know, hey, man. You know? These are times that we're coming into, man. You Israelites, you got to be aware of these things, man. You know? So this is from WGXA News. She waited 2 hours. WGXA digs into Macon Bib EMS response times. September 20th, 2022. Says Macon, Georgia. Is this Georgia? I guess it is Georgia. Who do you call when you're out of options? Right. That's an excellent question. Now, this is a question that you Israelites need to be asking yourselves. Who do you call upon when you can't call upon the 911 or, you know, Esau to help you, the so-called white people? Who you call upon? This is why it's important to come onto your power while the hand, you know, of mercy is extended onto you, man. Call on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. Your true power, you know, your true protection, covering. You know? It says when the fire department was on the scene, they couldn't get an ambulance. This was on a Saturday afternoon. When an ambulance finally got available, they put her on the stretcher and she coded. They later pronounced her dead shortly after that at Atrium in the emergency room, man. After waiting 2 hours for an ambulance, Coroner Leon Jones knows to go straight to the fire department. Every citizen in Macon-Bibb County should say amen and give them a thumbs up because they coming. At a last resort, here we go. A last resort that has become a first-line defense for some in Macon-Bibb who are racing against the clock. Someone's daughter had a mental health crisis last Saturday, waited 2 hours for an ambulance, and I called them and said put her in the car. People calling me can't get an ambulance. I called Atrium, they don't have one. I called community ambulance, they don't have one. I came that close to putting her in my car, Jones said. You know? Let's see, but with average response times clocking in around 7 minutes, according to the National Emergency Assessment, WGXA's Arena Plunkett went to the source and found out just how long it takes for you to receive help. It says an average of 7 minutes, they said, but obviously that's not the case anymore, man. You know, so I mean, you know, we gotta be aware of, you know, of the signs of the times, man. You know, let's see. And this, I got this last one. This is from Reuters from the UK. December 19th, 2022 was published. It says Britain readies military as ambulance drivers set to strike, man. So now you're gonna have military workers on the streets doing the jobs that, you know, normal civilians usually do. You know what I mean? So what kind of world is that gonna set in the future, right? Because the ambulances are run by if they're run by the military, eventually the fire will be, and you know, all the emergency services, including the police. So you'll already naturally have a military state, you know, going on. And you know, don't think for 1 second that these things aren't coming over here to Babylon the Great, aka America, man. You know, and that's really why I wanted to, you know, bring this out real quick, man. You know, because there's strikes, the ambulance drivers are striking and whatnot. So what happens when you know, that happens over here because of, you know, low pay, you know, overbearing work. You know what I'm saying? Because even my you know, where I used to work, you know, I already, you know, I hear from, you know, my different friends and whatnot that, you know, people are quitting like crazy and people aren't staying around for long, and the amount of calls have gone up. So they're working harder, you know, because they have to make up for the lack of other employees. And people are, you know, getting sicker and sicker because all these people with that damn juice, man. People are dropping left and right. Violence is going through the roof, right? As the scriptures say. Where is it? Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, man. You know, so violence is through the roof. You know what I mean? And it's continuing to escalate, and it's only going to continue to get worse because of the price, you know, the inflation that's going on, the lack of jobs, people not seeing a future here, the windows being darkened, you know. So the days are evil, man. You know, the days are evil, man. So let's read a little bit of this, and I'll get one more precept, and then I'll wrap it up. Two more precepts, Salakia. A couple more. London, December 19th, Reuters. Britain has prepared its military to step in and drive ambulances on Wednesday when more than 10,000 paramedics and call handlers strike as the standoff over pay between government and healthcare workers escalates. So see, you know, it's gonna come down to pay because of the inflation, man. The price of gas, the price of food, the price of living in general is continuing to go up. But everybody's pay is staying the same, so they can't make ends meet. And on top of that, they have to work even harder. So who the hell wants to live like that, man? So of course they're going to start striking, but the people are not going to stop getting sick. So them striking means that somebody has to step in and do the job. Otherwise, people are going to die. But eventually, that's what's going to happen anyway. It says double-digit inflation, see, has sparked industrial action across the British economy as workers balk at the prospect of declines in real wages at a time when the cost of food and energy is rising and the economy is sliding into a recession, man. So it's getting bad out here, man. It's getting real bad. That has already hit Britain's publicly, funded healthcare system, with nurses striking last week for the first time in more than 100 years and due to walk out again on Tuesday over demands for a pay raise of 5% above inflation. So not only will you not have people to come to your house to pick you up, but then to bring you to the hospital, you won't have anybody in the hospital to do anything for you either, because the nurses are striking over here in the UK, and it's only coming over here. It's just a matter of time, you know? So these are the times that we're coming into, brothers and sisters. So take heed to the warning. Ephesians 5:16. Matter of fact, I'll start at 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, right? Knowing the time, because the days are evil, man. So we have to pay attention, to what time we're living in, man. The days are evil. And we need to fully rely on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. This is 2 Samuel 22:3. The power of my rock, the God of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge. My Savior, thou savest me from violence, man. And this is where we talked about these different, things that are going to happen upon the world, man. You should have, no pity upon a neighbor. There'll be sedition among men. 2 Ezra 15:16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. 15th verse, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, man. So the times that we're coming into are very dark and violent, man. The Lord said he's going to send, where is it at, on the 5th verse, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Why? For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled, man. So this is what's coming on the planet, man. This is why it's imperative to trust on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Psalms 91:2. I will say of the Lord Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, and him will I trust. So Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to thank Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi once again for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi Bahasham Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostle and elder GMS, who rule well, taught me his truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To all, I want to say shalom. I want to say DTA, Babal, Kwam Yasharallah, and shalom. To the next one.